Welcome to our journey through the fascinating world of biblical criticism, where today we dive into the depths of the Wellhausen hypothesis. This revolutionary theory, comprising 4 fundamental parts, reshaped our understanding of the Bible's origins. It proposes that various sources, each with unique characteristics and perspectives, contributed to the Pentateuch's creation. Our exploration begins with the hypothesis cornerstone, the identification and separation of these sources. Initially guided by the usage of divine names, this approach set the stage for a groundbreaking shift in biblical studies. Early proponents like Julius Wellhausen saw patterns in the language and themes, leading them to separate these texts into distinct documents, each reflecting a different period and viewpoint. However, as scholarship progressed, many of these initial assumptions faced challenges. New archaeological discoveries and comparative studies of ancient Near Eastern literature revealed that the fluctuation of divine names was a common literary practice, not unique to Israelite writings. This insight called into question the hypothesis's foundation, suggesting that these variations in names and styles might not signify different sources after all. Further, the hypothesis assumed distinct literary works, each penned by a single author. Yet, as we delve deeper into the literature of the ancient Near East, it became apparent that this concept of authorship doesn't align with the collective and evolving nature of ancient texts, including the Hebrew Bible. With every archaeological find and linguistic analysis, the hypothesis's shortcomings became more evident. The once clear divisions between supposed sources blurred, as similarities in language and style were observed across the supposed boundaries. These revelations illustrated the dynamic and complex nature of the biblical text's development, far beyond the scope of the Wellhausen hypothesis. Advances in technology and the emergence of computer-aided analysis allowed for more detailed examinations of biblical texts. Studies such as those conducted by Yehuda Radeh and others demonstrated that the linguistic and stylistic separations between the J, Jahwist, and E, Elohist sources, as proposed by Wellhausen, were not as clear-cut as previously thought. These findings challenged the fundamental assumptions of the documentary hypothesis and suggested a more complex and nuanced approach to understanding the Bible. In addition to technological advancements, the broader historical and cultural context of the Bible began to be appreciated more deeply. Scholars like Yehezkel Kaufman and Umberto Cassuto argued against the anachronistic interpretations of the biblical text, emphasizing the need to understand the ancient Hebrew language and the Semitic mindset. They pointed out that the 19th century German scholars, influenced by their cultural and literary backgrounds, may have misinterpreted the stylistic and thematic elements of the biblical texts. Cassuto, in particular, brought attention to the unique literary style and narrative techniques of ancient Near Eastern literature, which differed significantly from contemporary Western literature. He highlighted examples of narrative duplication and thematic variations within the Bible and other ancient Near Eastern texts, arguing that these were not indicators of multiple sources, but rather a reflection of the literary conventions of the time. Kaufman, on the other hand, critiqued the endless dissection of biblical texts into various sources and editorial editions, a method he saw as overly speculative and lacking in concrete evidence. He argued for a more holistic approach to biblical interpretation, one that respects the integrity and cohesiveness of the text. As we delve deeper into our journey, we encounter other voices that contributed to the evolving landscape of biblical criticism. Scholars like Cassuto, M.H. Siegel, and others questioned the methods and assumptions of source criticism, emphasizing the importance of understanding the Hebrew language and the Semitic literary tradition. They pointed out the risks of imposing Western literary standards and interpretations on ancient Eastern texts, advocating for a more culturally and linguistically sensitive approach.